Hi there and thank you for tuning in. This video is about the Nikon Z50 and the four metering modes that it has. And it's a how-to video. If you want to jump directly to the how-to part, use the table of content below. I want to introduce a little bit what metering is and what you can use it for. But if you know that already and want to jump to the how-to part, please use the table of contents in the description below. So here I have an old-fashioned light meter, and it measures the available light. And it can not measure flash light. That's also a little bit outside scope for this video. But basically what it does is it simply reads the amount of light that hits the dome here, the white dome, and then it reads that out here via the red needle. And you can see here as I push the button now, not much is happening, but if I put my hand over the dome here, you can see how it changes the meter reading. And then the idea is that based on whatever you read here, you can then use these, may look very complicated, but you can actually turn these and set it so that you set your ISO and then find a combination of shutter speed and aperture that will work for that amount of light. And that translation is actually what your camera does. And you may not have given that much thought, but if you have a smartphone, it does that. If you have the Nikon Z50, it does that. And most modern cameras are able to translate a light reading into some camera settings. So your camera have different modes here. You probably heard the term PASM. It's a program, shutter speed, aperture priority, and manual. And you also have the auto mode where the camera controls everything and it's completely blocked. You can't change anything. And the four metering modes that I'm about to show you, you can't access those because in auto mode, the camera takes full control and you cannot really change anything. So if you want to see or follow the examples in this video, take your camera to program mode, shutter priority, aperture priority, one of those three. In manual mode, you will also influence the metering or the way it reads the light, but it will not be translated into camera settings because in manual mode, it's you who manually sets the camera settings. I have a video specifically about manual mode, so go watch that one. Post a link to it in case you're interested. But otherwise, I will stick to PS and A. And basically what these do is, in aperture priority, you set the aperture, the camera sets the shutter speed. In shutter priority, it's the other way around. You set the shutter speed and the camera sets the aperture. And in program mode, the camera sets both of them, subject to, of course, the light that it has read. That is basically the difference between these three modes. And you may question then, what about ISO? And let me just take that very quickly. So in this video, I will not be using ISO. I will set that to base ISO and switch auto ISO off. And just to show you how you do that, so you can follow that in this video, there is this little ISO button. It sits behind or just behind you, the shutter itself. And if you hit that one, you can see something happens in the bottom of the screen here. You can see it turns yellow. And when it turns yellow means now you can change it. And you use the rear command dial to change the ISO itself and the front command dial to switch between auto ISO and ISO. Auto ISO, let me just change that one. You can see it now says auto in the very bottom, just under the ISO words. Or the ISO word, and that means that now the camera can set also the ISO value. If you set it like in ISO mode itself, then you set the value. You can see here now I set the value to say, for instance, 400, and now it's up. That's sort of a fixed value now. But in this video, just to illustrate how the shutter speed and the aperture is changed based on the metering, I will assume that the ISO is in base ISO, meaning 100 on this camera, and that auto ISO is turned off. So switch on the front command dial to turn the auto ISO off and set with the rear command dial the ISO to the base ISO if you want to follow the examples in this video. So in order to select one of the four modes, you need to use the I button that sits right here. You have the command wheel here where you can move the cursor around by pushing that one and select by pushing OK. And the I button is where you get into the menu system. So if I push this one, you can see now a menu appears. And if I use the command wheel, I can sort of walk around in the menu system as I'm showing you here. And if I want to select a specific value, and I could, for instance, take the metering, which sits number 3 in the second row. I hit then the OK button, and then I go into the metering menu. And here you can see I can select one of the 4 values, and also I can press I to go back without changing anything, like that. If I want to change the value, if I'm in a hurry, say I start out here and then I go down to the metering mode, and then I don't want to go into the menu system, I can also just change the metering value like by turning the rear command dial, and then after that hitting the OK button. Then I have selected a new value. I just show you that again. I just turn the rear command dial and push OK, and then I have a new value. So you don't need to go into the menu system, but for the sake of demonstration here, I use that because it's very illustrative. So what are the 4 values? We start with the center weighted metering. That means that the camera is putting priority to whatever's in the center. And Nikon in their manual mentions that if you're shooting portrait, this could be a really good way of metering, because then you're sure that the face that you would typically have in the center of the frame would be correctly exposed, whereas if you have some strong light that comes from the background and it makes it difficult to meter correct, that light the camera could then choose to, if not ignore, then give lower priority. It actually looks at the entire scene, but it prioritizes the center of the scene. Nikon also in the manual mentions that if you're shooting with filter, this could be a good option. Spot metering, that's a very specific way of metering around the focus point that you have selected. If you do that, the spot metering will only use 2.5% of the entire frame to meter. And that means it will meter just around the spot. So if you have something that you know is extremely important for you, that particular point you're focusing on needs to be correctly exposed, then spot metering is probably the way to go for you. Highlight weighted metering, that is, if you heard the term blown out, that is when you lose details in the highlights. And that means instead of seeing different shades of white, you simply just see white. The information is lost. If you go with highlight weighted metering, then that means that the camera will prioritize the very bright parts of the scene. And that means that you will get all the details in the highlights, whereas you may lose details in the shadow. If you follow a photographer named Sean Tucker, you will see that he very often shoots in this mode. Finally, there is the matrix metering. This is probably the most advanced in terms of calculation and figuring out what the correct metering is. But matrix metering takes the entire scene into account. Basically, it means that the camera is looking at the entire scene and trying to find the best compromise in terms of how to interpret or read the light in the scene. And that is actually all there is to it. There are these 4 modes, and you select them simply by putting the cursor over the one that you want to select and then press the OK button. Other than selecting the metering mode amongst these 4, you can actually also influence the metering, the automated metering, by exposure compensation. And what is that? That is basically that you ask the metering system to do its job, but you're telling it then to deviate from whatever value it arrived at. And that means that you can change the exposure to your image without changing anything else than the exposure compensation. The exposure compensation sits right next to the ISO button here on the top of your camera. And exactly like before, if you hold down this one, let me try and give that a try, you can see that there's a little sign here that appears that looks exactly like the graphics you have on the top of your camera. And if you push that button again, it turns yellow. And here you can see I can take out 5 stops of light if that's to my liking. And I can also add 5 stops of light. And that means that you're now telling the camera to deviate from, you can say, the 0.0, which is the neutral value, or where there's no change. You can ask the camera to deviate from that. For instance, because you've taken a picture and you can see that the metering is off. For instance, if you're shooting in a very bright scene with lots of snow, for instance, then the metering system can sometimes have difficulties reading that correct. and giving you the right exposure, in that case you can ask it to take a little bit of the light out so you get what you want. Notice that this is a mirrorless camera, so one of the wonderful things is that you will actually have a preview in the viewfinder of the exposure. And then now you can see, now I have a -5, you can see it turns very dark, and if I go up, you can see it turns very, very bright. And this is wonderful. This is another indicator of what your exposure will be like. What you see is what you get here actually on your mirrorless camera. But still, I think it's good to know exactly how your camera meters. But be aware that with a DSLR, what you see in your electronic viewfinder and your rear LCD, that is also a preview of the exposure that you will get when you hit the shutter. Finally, just to show you some examples of what happens with the different metering modes, you can see here, if you look at the bottom left, you can see that it shows me this is the highlight weighted metering. If I go into the menu system here, you can see here that this logo or graphics is exactly the same as you see bottom right. So if, for instance, I was to take matrix metering and select that one, notice the logo bottom left, it is now matrix. And if I just start out by shooting here, you can see it says 115 and f5, and I take a picture like that. Then if I go and change the value so that instead of metering, it is now center weighted, I give that a shot. And then I can try to take spot metering, and I can give that 2 shots. I can give it a shot where I meter on the mouse itself, and then I could move the cursor to the right and then give that a shot and see what that says. And then finally I could give it a try with the highlight weighted metering and see what that does. Or maybe I should focus on the mouse again just to get a good image like that. And let's see what we got. If you haven't got the same information in the screen as I have, you can hit, there's the display button bottom right on your rear LCD, and if you hit that one, it will toggle between the different values I'm showing you here, just so you know that it's possible to change what you actually see here. And I think maybe the one with the histogram can be useful. But let's go and review the images we've taken here. You can see again just next to the P, because here I've been shooting in program mode, you can see again the logos of the different modes I was shooting in. So the first one was shot in the matrix metering mode, and you can see that gives a good overall exposure. If I talk between the matrix and then the center weighted, you can see there isn't that much of a difference. Yeah, and you can also see the histogram doesn't change all that much. If I go then to the two spot metering that I had, the one where I focused on the mouse, and then you can see here the one where I focused on the white. You can see when I focus on the white, it gives me a much significantly faster shutter speed, and that's of course because I now ask it to use the white as the baseline for the metering, and of course it then assumes that there is more light in the scene because it only uses a very, very small part of the scene, which is very bright. So also notice how you can see the histogram jumps to the left simply because there is the shutter speed is faster and it takes in simply less light. So this is, I think, a very good illustration of the difference between pointing at two different places in your scene. Finally, the highlight weighted, you can see relative to the spot metering on the white, there isn't that much change, and this is in line with what I would expect, because the highlight weighted would of course prioritize all the white in the scene and make sure there are no blown out parts, meaning that the histogram does not touch the right side of the frame here. Okay, that's it from me. Hope this was useful. As always, happy shooting. Take care. Bye bye.